wow, that thing is a beast. My mind cannot process the things that I'm seeing today right now. Buenos dias, good morning guys. Today is a very exciting day as we are going to be doing something that both of us have been wanting to do for a very long time. We are currently in Puerto Jimenez and we are going to be going into one of the wildest places here in Costa Rica as we're going to be heading towards Corcovado National Park. We're going to be going on a 3-day adventure and we don't have a lot of time as we're supposed to go catch a boat right now, so I will share more information about the adventure we're going on as the adventure goes on. I'm very excited.
I'm super excited too and like so happy to be living this experience because Corcovado is so cool. So let's check it out.
Let's go see some animals. I'm not even in the national park yet and we get to see 2 sea turtles in the middle of the sea making love.
Wow. Mira, mi amor, mira. Ay, qué lindo.
That was the first time I've ever seen dolphins. Wow.
Me too. I'm so happy.
Okay, we're here.
It feels so incredible, like all the experience, even just getting here, like the view, see like the mountains full of trees and like dolphins and turtles is like wow.
Okay, well we have officially made it to Corcovado National Park. Right behind us here is where we actually just got out of the boats. This is basically the main entrance where if you come by boat, you get dropped off right here. There are actually 2 ways that you can come into Corcovado National Park. So we are coming in by boat. There is a way that you can actually walk in from the entrance, which I believe is something like 23 kilometers. Our guide was telling us it could take up to 12 hours depending on how slow you go. Unfortunately, we were originally going to do the hike, but I think because of some bad weather recently, we came in by boat, which in some ways is actually better because it's easier. And we got to see some dolphins and sea turtles on the way, which is pretty amazing. Basically, we are heading towards where we're going to start our tour. As I mentioned, it's a 3-day tour. So today is the first day. Corcovado National Park is roughly about 2 hours south from Movita, where we live. In the national park, there is nobody who lives here, just a ranger station, just basically where we're going to be staying for the next few days with a group of other tourists and guides who are here. But enough chit-chatting. Let's get this tour started. I'll introduce you to our guide very soon as well. She's a friend of ours. She has all the information. We're going to learn a lot on this experience, I think. So, vamos! Okay, so right now we are heading towards where we're going to be staying for the next few days. It's a place called Sirena Ranger Station, and it's the place where everybody, including the guides, stay when they come into Corcovado National Park. The place that we're in is a very delicate, very biodiverse location. Because of that, you know, we have to be a little bit careful at times, not just because of dangerous animals or anything like that, but also because of our impact on the landscape here as well and on the environment. We're going to be walking around through the jungle and on the beaches here. We always have to be watching out for snakes, crocodiles, and apparently in the waters here there's sharks and all kinds of other things as well. So on one hand, we're gonna have so much beauty around us and we're gonna be able to enjoy seeing a lot of that wildlife and nature and hopefully some really cool animals. My fingers are crossed for a puma or some kind of a big cat. I've never seen one in my life, but we do have to be very careful. Our guide Caro is going to share a lot more about that later on. She's much more educated on this than I am. With that being said, I'm gonna put this camera down and just be careful because around me is pretty much just jungle and this trail, you never know. All right, well, this is where we're gonna be staying basically. So this is the ranger station here at the main entrance, and I'm guessing we're gonna be sleeping in one of those cabins there. Okay, we are about to start our first trail now, all dressed up and ready for adventure. This is Stacy's friend here, Caro.
Hello, people. Caro is gonna be guiding us today. She's one of my best friends, and like I admire her so much because she's like a biologist and also like a certified guide, and it has like a very genuine way of teaching us about wildlife. Obai Adventures, that is her business.
I'm really excited because I think that I have a little bit different way to guide. Obai is a company that we use the tourism as a tool for education because it's the only way that we have right now to make people be aware of what we live in this reality, and sometimes we don't really understand privilege that we have as human beings, and being in this kind of non-comfort area for humans make us be more grateful with our realities, and that's what I love to teach with this perfect office that I have. Thank you very much. Training Forest in Costa Rica. Come anytime that you want it.
And of course, I'm going to link Obai Experience, Caro's company, down in the description below. So if you guys are here in Costa Rica, or more specifically here in Corcovado, you can contact Caro and she can take you on an adventure like what we're gonna do for the next few days. As you can see, it's getting darker. We are entering the jungle now, so I'm gonna and see if we can find something. Something I like that Caro just mentioned to us, that I just mentioned as well about being quiet. She kind of reminded me that, you know, at the same time, we are also animals and we are also natural here. Making a little bit of noise and being human is okay. Of course, our impacts in other ways are harmful, but in terms of our noise and everything like that, like the animals will make the decision to be near us or be curious or move away from us. They recognize our noises like they would recognize another animal's noise. But the number one rule that Caro gave us for today is to enjoy. So lots of laughter then.
Okay, guys, I'm making a question to see, not to test you, just to understand that there's going to be a hope. How old do you perceive that a forest like this one can be?
I'm guessing hundreds of thousands of years, maybe.
5,000 years.
Okay, in the group of thousands. A forest like this one, everything that you see around, maybe just that tree, the tall one, it has no more than 50 years. That's exactly when I tell my guests, in the tropical frame of this planet there's a hope. In 50 years we can make that Costa Rica become, after being at the 70s the country with the highest rate of deforestation, one of the countries that has demonstrated that if you have good intentions and you give the chance not only to the humans, if not to the ecosystem, there's a chance that we can recover part of the planet.
I like
more
that.
Good intentions. That's what I'm here.
We're just stopped right now to look for one of my favorite animals, the squirrel monkey. We can hear them, but we don't know where they are exactly right now. One of the animals that we can see here in Corcovado is danta, a tapir. Caro was just telling us that this tree here, you can see where they've ripped off, where they actually chew off part of the tree to find the sap, and they get the magnesium from the sap there. So hopefully that's one of the animals we'll be able to see while we're here. Caro just told us that there was an animal sighting nearby here, so we're gonna go check to see what it is. I don't know what it is. She says it's gonna be special. So far so good. Everywhere you look in here, there's so many beautiful things to see, but one thing that's really interesting as well, I'm learning more about other senses, which is a lot to do with like sound, because in reality, I guess people don't have great eyesight, especially in these types of environments, because we're not so familiar with it anymore. We're like listening a lot and hearing a lot of different animals and getting small glimpses of animals as well. I feel like I'm really like experiencing something different, like really in the jungle now. Caro just told us it's a snake. We don't see it yet, but I guess there's a very big snake somewhere around here. Stacy just saw it. I don't know how well you guys can see that right there, but that right there is the one animal I'm the most afraid of here in Costa Rica. That's a terciopelo. I don't know what kind of snake it is actually. What kind of a snake is it?
It's a fer de lance.
A fer de lance. Ah, it's a type of viper. Uy, que susto. That is very scary. You can just barely see the pattern right there hiding. Very beautiful though. That is not an animal I would want to step on by accident or step anywhere near or disturb. So I'm gonna keep a very safe distance from this one.
Snakes like this one, guys, and with that size, it's not really that common to see them because mostly we found the small ones, but with a size like this one, already this snake can swallow a coati because they have a characteristic really particular from the snake, that is that they can open their jaw. Their low jaw can be divided in two, so they can open it and swallow as much as this. That's one of the conditions that make the terciopelos quite dangerous, that different from other vipers, they get to really big sizes. Normally when you do not need to be, or when you're poisonous, you don't really need to be big because it's enough with your venom. But this one has both conditions. And the fact that the distribution is all over the country. So vipers like the terciopelo is the one who cause us largest amount of accidents, but not in tourism. So the tourists are safe.
Anybody doesn't know what a coati or an agouti is, they are basically about the size of a raccoon. So that snake, which reality looks quite small, it can eat it like a whole raccoon basically in one sitting. Wow, and there's a monkey right above me. What's going on with your hair here? Why does it look so dry?
Oh, it got so very dry. I think it's just Corcovado, you know?
So obviously my fear of snakes is quite real. In my opinion, is a little bit healthy because I think I should have a little bit of a fear of them, just as they have a fear of me. Caro was reminding me of something that I do believe in, and I have believed in this my whole life, growing up around a lot of different animals like bears and mountain lions as well that we have there. It's not so much a fear because the animals are going to actually attack us for no reason, but it's more a misunderstanding. We don't understand the animals, and that's why we have a fear of them, like sharks, crocodiles, snakes. Caro made a good point. Growing up, we see these animals in cartoons all the time and they're portrayed as evil and those types of things. But for example, an animal like a toucan is viewed as like a cute thing that only eats like Fruit Loops and stuff like that. But in reality, they also are predators. They hunt other birds and are quite brutal in terms of their hunting methods. You know, that's part of nature, but we don't view them that way. Whereas we view snakes and sharks and crocodiles and things like that as something that just want to kill us or eat us for no reason, but we are not actually a part of their diet. So in many ways, my fear is irrational a little bit. I think it's healthy, personally. We need to learn more about these animals so that we don't have those irrational fears of them and just more of an understanding of them. And I think it also helps us to protect them if we understand them a little bit more as well. We made it to the beach, guys, and check this out. This is about as much of an isolated beach as you can possibly ask for. It's so beautiful. And the water, it's really hard to see, but the water here is so much bluer than it is in Uvita and like some of the other beaches that I've been to here in the Pacific side of Costa Rica. And I still can't believe that we saw dolphins today and sea turtles. That's crazy. Okay, guys, we have word that there's another animal here somewhere where Caro is headed right now. We are gonna go see if we can find una danta, tapir, or tapir, I think is how you say it in English. But I guess it's resting right now because it is around noontime, so let's go see. Whoa, that thing is a giant. It's like the size of a bear. I didn't realize they were that big. Oh yeah, I can see its ears moving now. Let's try and get a closer view. Obviously that one is resting right now, so it's limited how much we can show or how much even comes out on the camera. I've never seen a tapir before. I'm hoping that we get to see another one later. Caro said that we might come back to this area here or to another area where you can see them, maybe a little bit later when the weather's a bit cooler and there's a better opportunity to see them more active, because obviously right now, as you can see in this big trail right here, it's just keeping fresh, keeping out of the heat. Wow, that thing is a beast. The nose on it, it's like an anteater mixed with like a hippopotamus, mixed with like a pig. I don't even know, but like the size of a black bear almost. My mind cannot process the things that I'm seeing today right now. Caro is testing me right now because she just told us that there's a crocodile really close to us in the water and I cannot see anything. Okay, let's look through the telescope. Let's see. Ah, that's a crocodile or a caiman?
No, that's a crocodile.
So is this a young one then?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm chill with that one because that one is small. But let's see if we see a bigger one later. That might be a different story for me. There's literally a giant crocodile here right behind us, floating down the river. I don't care if I sound a little bit like a my heart is beating. These animals are terrifying.
Yeah, you sound like...
Cállate. No nadar. What does that mean in Spanish?
Don't swim.
You don't gotta tell me twice. We've made it back to the station now. The first trail out of, I don't know how many we're gonna do over the next few days is over, but this is one of the included lunches that we get. I gotta be honest, I am in need of this. We've been up since 4 a.m. this morning. The adrenaline is kicking and like seeing everything we've seen already. It's hard for me to fathom the fact that we still have to have 2 full days, and we have more stuff that we're gonna do later. It's only like midday right now. It's 12 o'clock.
And we already saw like so many
things.
different animals.
Yeah.
It's just so beautiful. Like,
Yeah, it's insane.
they feel so respected here. They're not afraid of you. So it's just so beautiful to see them exist.
I love Manuel Antonio, but for me already Corcovado is better. Provecho. Let's eat. Let's rest up a little bit and go adventure some more. So while we take a quick break before we go on to our next trail, I just thought I'd introduce the little area here of Sirena Station. Basically, this is one of the rooms right here is where everybody stays. Over here they have some bathrooms, and where we were just a moment ago is over there having some food. Actually, it's quite nice. There's not a lot of privacy, to be honest. You stay here with everybody in these see-through mosquito net bunk beds, but it's quite cozy and a little bit fresh over here as well. Stacy's already getting cozy. You think you'll sleep well here?
Oh yeah.
It's quite nice, actually, aside from the fact that there are going to be like 70 other people sleeping here. Like I said, there's not a lot of privacy. I don't think it's going to matter because we're going to fall asleep immediately. This next trail that we're going to do is going to be our last one for the day today. I guess there's actually a lot of rules and regulations based on what time you're allowed to be out, and they completely close the station at 6 p.m. So you have to be back in before then, I guess. And all the lights are off at 8 p.m. So we're going to be sleeping super early tonight, waking up super early again tomorrow. Yeah, let's enjoy these final moments of rest before we go head out to the next trail. And I'm not really too sure what to expect with the next one. If it's anything like the first trail that we just did, I'm sure it's going to be a lot of fun. Even right here at the station, you can see some cool animals. Look at this turkey looking thing. It's like a peacock turkey. You tried.
Goal! Now, Caro.
That's pretty cool that they actually have a kind of a soccer field here. Actually, the airstrip, this little section here is actually the airport. Pretty cool. Even here at the ranger station, you can play football.
Really Costa Rican. That's one of the things that I love about this place. That is like a really typical Costa Rican community with our soccer field to make the mejenga.
Yeah.
Trail number 2, second half of day 1.
Let's see what we're gonna find today. This is one of my favorite species all over the planet. So later we're gonna look for some leaf-coated ants.
This giant mound here is a leaf-cutter ant nest, or used to be, I guess. That's very cool. Just above us in the trees here as well are some howler monkeys, which are the ones that sound absolutely insane. Caro was just mentioning now as well that all of these little bumps here are also part of a leafcutter ant nest. Basically, we're standing on one right now and it goes all the way over here. And it's about 30 square meters, 6 meters underground as well. And you can see here, they're obviously not working right now. It's their siesta. Underneath us, basically, there could be up to about 8 million of them. That's crazy because sometimes those are the things that you don't think about in nature, right? You don't think about the little ones. We always think about like the big animals, like the jaguars, the dantas, everything else that we're looking for here. But in reality, everything is moving, right? Like the leafcutter ants are a big part of that as well. And they make a huge impact here as well, right? Like that's a huge space that they're taking up here.
Thinking about the leafcutter ants, I was trying to see the way that they have their trails so I can show you the society, because basically leafcutter ants are considered the second most organized society after the humanity.
Wow.
Because they have something that we also do, which is that they harvest their own food. They harvest a fungus with most of the leaves that you see them carrying. Later we're gonna see the different social structure that they have, so in between the worker, the soldier, the quality control, the queen, but they are so organized that's why.
I don't know what we've stumbled across here, but this is not what I was expecting to find here in the jungle.
That's why I love to bring my guests here, because sometimes we forgot all this area was cut down till the 70s, and this one was basically the parking lot of the airplanes.
What's crazy is you can see how much the nature has grown up around it in realistically a pretty short time when you think about it. It does give a little bit of hope that in the future we could possibly turn things around. Just up ahead of us we found a wild boar. There's a few of them actually. So this animal over here is called an agouti, which we also have in Uvita. We see them sometimes at Playa Hermosa. They're very cool animals.
I like to take chances to show the agoutis, even that are not this species that everybody's like, oh, can we see an agouti? That's never happened. But in terms of ecology, animals like this one basically are the first line of defense of the forest. The bats, the insects, the agouti, the rodents are the ones who are in charge of replant the forest. Actually, one of the things that make Costa Rica so successful in terms of conservation, it is that we didn't do nothing more than let the forest be, and then the same animals have different works inside the forest, and these ones for me are one of the most important, but not really aesthetic attractive, so the people don't really ask for them, but really, really important. Plus, are the base of the diet of plenty of the animals around.
Wow, very cool. Show love to rodents. So this here is kind of an example of what I was talking about in the beginning of the video, where I was saying that we were supposed to do a big hike here, but there's been some damage due to a lot of rain recently. So this is an example of some of the trail, I guess, is not passable because of this, basically. Right at the end of the rain season in November, it basically rained every day, almost all day, every day. Due to that, there was quite a bit of damage across the country here, including where we live in Uvita, a little bit on the highways and some landslides, and I think further up north in Guanacaste as well. Now we're entering into the summer season. As I mentioned, you can see behind like some of the damage that was left behind from the weather, which in my opinion is directly relevant to climate change. This year's heavy rain was a little bit later than usual, so I don't know if this is normal for there to be a lot of damage on trails like that, especially here, because it is a delicate ecosystem. Those are from recent storms. So we just got word that the tapir is on the beach somewhere, so we're gonna go head down onto the beach right now, see if we can find this one. This one should be more active than the one from earlier.
Everything here is like...
I feel like I'm hyper aware more than I ever have been, and even with my so-called hyper awareness, I probably still have missed like 100,000 things around us. It's really hard to see, but it's basically right there in front of us, and actually there's an eagle on top of it. We're trying to sneak up a little bit closer to it to see if we can see it. Such strange animals. I've never seen any animal like this before. Oh guys, there it is looking through the trees. Wow, look at that.
It's so beautiful.
This is like exactly what I was hoping to see when I was thinking about Corcovado. Wow.
Wow, la naricita. Ay, qué lindo. This is so awesome. Right?
I know. And look at where we are too, like where we're seeing it right here.
You deserve this.
Wow. It's so cool because we are literally right at basically the entrance from where we started earlier. Like just behind us here is pretty much where we arrived. They just hang out here, like, and they're actually not that bothered by people. Like we scared it a little bit because it hurt us, and Gato was saying that it doesn't have great eyes. Its vision is not very good, so it relies on smell and sound.
She was saying actually it's important like that we talk when we're close, so she recognizes humans talking, because when it's just noise, she can think he's a predator, right?
Yeah,
or something.
Once she realized, or he realized, that we were not a threat to it, it just calmed down, started eating on the beach, and just let us kind of observe.
I feel so grateful today. I cannot believe it's the first day.
Day one, we still have 2 days. I don't know how long this video is going to be, but stick with us. And one last thing, I don't know if you guys can see these very well, but these are the footprints of the tapirs. It's kind of hard to see how big it is. I am a pretty average sized man. That's my footprint right there, and you can see it's almost the same size as the tapir's footprint.
Well guys, basically this is a little bit of Corcovado National Park, just for you to know and to see. Basically in this map, Corcovado represents around 50% of the Osa Peninsula, having 6 entrances. Today we get through Sirena, but my favorites, for being honest, are La Leona or Los Patos, where we have the chance to do the long hikes, which each one is around 20 kilometers. So it's really intense, it's super nice hike, and give us the chance to explore a little bit more parts of the park that are not restricted just for tourism. So here Los Patos, at least this trail, which go through primary forest, is the only trail in Costa Rica that you basically can walk 20 kilometers inside national park, inside primary forest in the southern part of Costa Rica. Corcovado, one of the things that it makes this place so special, it is that we are the last remnants of a raining forest in the Pacific coast of Central America. And it's more related with the Amazonian forest than with other areas. Maybe you have heard that in Costa Rica we carry 2.5% of the biodiversity of the planet, and most of them in this region because it's really diverse place.
Which would make it one of the most biodiverse places in the entire planet in terms of density, right?
In terms of density, and also in compare with the size of Costa Rica. It's a country that I think, if I'm not wrong, represents 0.003% of the surface of the planet, and it carries 2.5% of the biodiversity. So if we will have the size of Brazil, maybe we can compete in terms of diversity.
Wow.
And it's more because the position of the country in Central America, Costa Rica was one of the youngest lands that grow after the tectonic plaques.
Wow.
That's create like a corridor, so species from South America can move to the north and opposite way.
That's very significant.
Even though that was around 300 million years ago, but it's where it's come, this type of diversity.
That we see there flying, it's about gotta tell us that he comes and like scan us to see what we are and like our size. That's what he's doing. Look. Ooh.
Well, the sun has officially set on day one of us here in the jungle in Corcovado. If we left right now, I'd be totally satisfied with this adventure, but we still have 2 more days, and I could not be more excited to see what else Corcovado has in store for us.
Now we're gonna just go and rest and be ready for tomorrow. It's gonna be more walking, so we need to rest.
Well, we'll see you guys in the morning.
Bye.
Good morning. It is day 2 now. I don't know about you, but I did not have the greatest sleep.
I did.
Between the creaky wood floors and this morning the howler monkeys, I don't know. I could have slept better. But
if you're like a light sleeper, maybe you can bring some like
earplugs. I would recommend it. Anyways, today we have, I think, a few more trails that we're going to be doing. I'm really not too sure what to expect again. Caro hasn't told us too much information. So right now I know we're going to go have our first breakfast of the day. And then I believe we will start.
It's like delicious.
I hope so. Well, let's go eat. I'm starving already.
Yeah, let's go.
Que rico. Another beautiful meal that we're having here. Some gallo pinto, plátano maduro.
Buried in sandia.
Yeah, it looks delicious. Did you just steal? And Stacey got herself some yogurt that I'm gonna steal from her now as well. Okay, and we are back inside the jungle.
Did you notice the sensation of the heat, how it changed once you have a healthy environment with forest, different than when you're out there
100%.
without the forest?
Yeah.
It completely changed. Something we forgot, that the way that this planet maintains fresh or cooler is through the forest. So always please plant some trees in your house.
Plant trees.
Plant trees.
Quick story that I learned about something cool in a city in Colombia, in Medellin, is that they started to plant a lot of trees in the avenues, kind of allowed the trees to create like a natural shade for the city. And in turn, they found that the climate in Medellin actually started to cool down. I believe it's always been known as the eternal spring, but now the temperature there is very bearable. It's become one of the most, in terms of climate at least, one of the most livable cities in the world, I believe. So another example. Plant more trees and life improves. Just immediately on the trail, we've already seen a couple monkeys, and just then we saw a two-toed sloth, which in Costa Rica there are 2 different types of sloths. They have the 2-toed and the 3-toed. If I'm not mistaken, Costa Rica is the only country that has both the 2-toed and the 3-toed because of its central location in the globe, that it is capable to have both of them. And what's the best way to tell the difference between the 2-toed and the 3-toed sloths?
Basically, the activity during the day or during the night. 3-toed sloth has a condition that they are quite old, evolved in terms of mammals, so they cannot really thermoregulate temperature of the body. So they really need to be active during the day because they're kind of reptilish. But in that case, the two-toed sloth, they're going to be more active during the night because they already passed this process of evolution and they can thermoregulate. So for not to compete in the same niche, one is diurnal and the other one nocturnal.
We've seen squirrel monkeys, spider monkeys, and howler monkeys, but for some reason in Corcovado I haven't seen any of the white-faced capuchin monkeys, which I see everywhere else. So
you find it that interesting?
I do find it interesting because they're like the most common ones.
That's the point. Also, yesterday I told you that the spider monkeys are the most difficult to see all over the country, and you found them here. It is because they behave. An animal like the whiteface, they're extremely smart, that they understand that relations or areas nearby humans give them other benefits. And here inside the forest, basically they will have to compete more. They actually travel long distance because they don't really stay in one area because they will have to behave like animals. Different that if they go areas nearby humans, that they obtain certain benefits in terms of food, in terms of fruits, in terms of different things that they found that they can take advantage. So they also can get adapted, which is the condition that the spider monkeys they don't have. They cannot get adapted far from this really dense forest because their way of behavior, we talked yesterday about missing the thumb, do not allow them to go farther than this. So for the spider monkeys, fragmentation of forest is one of the toughest or the biggest problems they are suffering right now, and whiteface are super adaptable.
So along with the wild boars that we're looking at here, there's another spider monkey. Kato was just telling us that they have the strongest tail in all of the animal kingdom, and it's moving right next to us right now. Wow, look at that. You can see how much it utilizes its tail to move around the tree. We're just kind of stopped right now because we got word that there is actually a porcupine hiding somewhere in this tree in one of the holes. Apparently it's quite rare to see these porcupines. So.
It's a nocturnal animal, so right now it's resting, so I'm gonna do it really quick so you can have the chance to see what I'm looking for.
This is one of the realities, is sometimes the animals you can't see. Like I can't see it right now with my eyes, but once Kato puts the flashlight on it and through the telescope you can actually see it up close, and like I don't know how people find these. So right next to where the porcupine is, we have another nocturnal animal, a bat laying right there. And look at the details on it. That's so cool. Without the telescope you wouldn't even notice. It just looks like a black mark on the side of the tree, but
yeah.
that's so cool. Every time we get close to these rivers, instantly I start to get a little bit like anxious, a little bit more alert. And we've already been told that there's a crocodile around here somewhere. We have to actually cross the river right now. So I just keep reminding myself that Kato has been here for like 7 years and she's still alive. And she does this every day. So what's the chances it's me, right? Actually, right now is a very easy time because the tide is super low. If there was a crocodile, we'd definitely be able to see it right now. And I'm trusting Kato's word. Don't do that. That actually made me jump a little bit. I'm very on edge. But right now, should be safe. I don't see anything. But on the way back, let's see, it might be different. We do have to cross this side and then come back again, obviously, to go back the other way. So we're going to do that in quite a few hours. And the tide will obviously change a little bit during that time. So what a beautiful place, though. Wow. Like, aside from the fact that there are many, many dangers here, just appreciating that beauty is incredible. Heading down a different part of the jungle right now, and I have to be very quiet because this specific spot that we're looking for, there could be evidence or possibly even the animal itself, which, not to give anything away, is one of the animals that is like a dream animal for me to see. So I have to be a bit quiet and we have to be a bit observant where we are, because even if we get to see the animal, it could be a very, very short glimpse. Kato is the expert. If anybody, I have faith in finding this specific animal or even just evidence of the animal, it's Kato. Corcovado. You can also see some of the other beauties of nature here. And right here, this tree is called a ceiba tree. I have seen quite a few of them across Costa Rica. Such beautiful trees. And huge, look at that.
In certain cultures are considered sacred trees, but it's really interesting because it's a tree that can continue surviving in really dry, hot conditions. Plenty times the trees basically sweat through their leaves, and if they sweat in really humid or hot area, they can get dehydrated. So the ceibas don't do photosynthesis only through their leaves, if not also through the barks. And if you get close, you can see that they have stripes.
Like stretch marks.
Stretch marks, and those stretch marks are green, like light green. It is because they also have photosynthetic cells, so they can continue growing even though they throw all the leaves of the trees. They're almost immortal trees. And they have a condition that they have like a small belly, plus the fact that they don't want to get dehydrated, they can storage water inside. So when you knock them, you can hear the water of the trees.
Not the animal we're looking for right now, but it could be a sign that the other animals nearby, although Caro did just tell me that probably the howler monkeys are making that noise because the rain is coming. And right on cue, the rain has come. Such spectacular animals. They sound terrifying. Like,
I feel that when it's raining in the forest, it's such a like magical moment. It gets like so alive and you can hear all the drops. It reminds me of my childhood, exploring always like the forest and exploring with my mom and my family.
wow, guys, look at this tree that we just stumbled on.
It's a ficus.
It's a which tree?
A ficus.
A ficus.
Yeah, one of those that killed the other tree, you know, like the one Caro told us yesterday.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. It looks like a waterfall.
It's so hard to see just the base of like the trunk of the tree compared to Stacy. And Stacy's got a big trunk too, so. In all seriousness, look at how big this tree is, how cool that is. Wow.
It's important, like Caro was saying, like check on the root, like little spaces like that, because snakes like those areas. So yeah, we gotta have always like open eyes when we're around like this type of vegetation here.
That's something I'm very appreciative of Caro right now, is that honestly I feel I know quite a bit about animals. I've learned a lot, I have an interest of animals, but when it comes to trees and plants and things like that, I know absolutely nothing. And she's been teaching me so much about what trees do, what these trees are, their purpose, and even the insects interacting with those trees.
This one for me, the fig trees represent trees of life because are founds of produce resources in nature that produce plenty time, so plenty animals eat. They also have small shelters all over the roots. They basically have hollows inside where there's bats and snakes, so it's a full ecosystem by itself. I really like the figs.
The tree here actually is totally hollow inside. It's super cool. One of the ways of tracking animals is to look at the poop. This is not the poop of the animal we're looking for, but this is actually tapir poop, the dantas that we saw yesterday. And I can say I stopped for 1 second and Caro and Stacy decided to hide on me. So let's see if I can find them. No, I have no idea where you guys are.
You have to see the video where our both are like, and you didn't see us. It was so funny.
I could get lost in the forest real easy.
I felt so bad because you
I
were
was
like,
so guilty.
you were recording, and then like, you know, you put the camera down, like, man, where are they?
Guys, look at the shell that I just found on the side of this like trail / beach. This thing is huge.
It's called cambute.
I can hear the sea.
I'm not sure if it's that, Kyle.
It's definitely the shell. Guys, I haven't been able to film much of the last like hour or so of us walking. We've just come out of the trail and it stopped raining finally because it was raining pretty hard actually for the last hour. But look at this place. Oh my goodness, like we are totally isolated. There is nobody else here. This is the epitome, the definition, the absolute definition of paradise. Corcovado might actually be one of the most beautiful, maybe one of my favorite places in the entire planet that I've ever been to. And just to mention that the place that we're actually heading to right now, there is a final destination, if you want to call it that, is called Punta Sal Si Puedes. For Spanish speakers, you might be able to understand that one. Basically what that means is get out if you can, or leave if you can. I don't know where Caro is taking us, but it has an interesting name. This experience right here is one of the reasons why I love to travel, to learn about cultures, to learn about places so different from my own home, and to get out of my comfort zone. And it's really hard not to fall in love with this place. It's really hard not to fully appreciate and be present. And that's something that I try to do more and more of as I get older, because as technology progresses, we kind of lose touch with reality a lot. And just finding some time like this to get into nature, obviously maybe not this extreme all the time, but to get out into nature, it really allows yourself to clear your mind and to breathe and to really appreciate the planet that we live in, because this is amazing. I've said it a few times. So what is this?
This one is a spaghetti of coconut.
It's nature's cheese string.
Nature cheese string. It is just like the leaves of the coconut palm, which is still inside are soft, and they have like heart of palm, and the white-faced monkeys do this one. So when I see that, I just want to be a monkey.
I'm very spoiled, and they gave me the best piece, so. Actually, it tastes like coconut. You really get a flavor of like
a little bit salty.
Yeah, like an oniony flavor with like if coconut had an onion flavor. So basically this place is a little bit risky and we have to be very careful. So we're literally going to be here for like 15 minutes. I guess there's like a small window of time you can come when the tide is out, which is happening right now, as you can see behind me. We're going to check out this cave now and sal si podemos. Wow, look at this place. Que loco. This is really cool. I don't think I have ever been inside of a cave like this. Honestly, was even questioning if I could come in. Caro made a good point. She said fear is just misunderstanding, which is what we talked about yesterday with the animals. So here I am. Obviously, you guys can hear that. Up in that little area there are so many bats flying around. So this is actually the end of the road of this trail. So now we are going to start making our way back, which I think we're going to be walking a little bit faster this time because obviously the tide is coming in. And if you remember about a few hours ago when we crossed that river, obviously that means that the tide is getting higher in the river as well. And the current's getting probably a little bit stronger. So we have to get moving. But yeah, just one last view of this incredibly beautiful place. Seeing all the different colors of the water behind us. The cave just on this side. Muchas gracias, Caro, for taking us here. And also there are some monkeys above us dropping these little flowers here, and one just dropped literally right behind me. Let's say goodbye to these monkeys above us tossing things at us. Make our way back. If we do see the animal that we've been looking for, of course I will show that, but yeah. I don't think so. I'm being realistic.
Right now the next goal is
get home
and have a delicious dinner again. It's well deserved.
You guys can see that very well, but there's a little deer. This one looks like a young one, but I'm not sure here in Costa Rica. Maybe the deer are smaller than the ones in Canada.
This one is a full adult of a red rocket deer, like the smallest species that we have, in Cabrito de Monte, we call them, and this is a full grown adult.
Wow. Well, while we have a short break in the rain and before we basically head back to the river, the Crocodile River, I guess I can tell you guys the animal we were looking for, if you haven't already guessed, was a jaguar. The trail that we took earlier today, at least that main part of the trail, is an area where it has been known that there is a female jaguar that hangs out in that area. They call her Aurora. I don't know how common it is for people to actually see her. We saw a few camera traps in that area, and I guess you can see other types of big cats as well, like pumas and things like that. Unfortunately, today today, no luck. Of course, that's the more realistic side of things, is we're not guaranteed to see anything. In fact, most animals, or at least those types of animals, is more likely that you won't see anything. But we still have tomorrow morning. It's now about 4 p.m. and I am starving. I'm soaking wet. I need to get back, safely cross this crocodile river one more time and go get some food. So far it looks clear. I haven't seen any crocodiles, and Caro has made it all the way over there already, so I think we'll be okay.
She's saying that sometimes they have to do it with like high water to the belly bottom or the chest. That's when it gets more scary for people. Like, I don't know if I could do it actually.
No.
Like,
yeah, because you can't see very well. Like right now we can see perfectly fine because it's like ankle deep, but when it's like a little bit deeper than that, that's the part that scares me, is just not being able to see what's underneath me. I cannot even begin to explain how comfortable it is to be showered and back in the bed right now, but I'm so excited. We're gonna go get our final dinner, our second dinner, and I'm excited because the food here has been super good.
yeah, it's been very good.
Last night we had pork chops and some salad and some stuff. It was very nice. I'm hoping it's something along those lines. I am going to eat a ridiculous amount of food.
They even had dessert. I'm gonna have some of that cake.
Oh yeah. Que rico. Look at all this food. We've got some chicken, some rice, some beans, of course, some salad.
Vegetables.
We've got flan for a dessert. Stacy's got soup on her plate.
Oh my god, don't judge me. Like, I'm so hungry. I feel I eat like a big man sometimes. You know, today is one of those days.
Today is very deserved.
Really wanted to share about this food that it's something that makes me always feel that I have to share. The ranger station is administered by the government and the ADIS. ADIS are a non-profit organization for development of rural communities, and they have a project called Prolos. Prolos is products produced by local producers, and it's basically the way that they have to also support the local economies through tourism. So they always try to buy the products that are stripped from local people. Enjoy this local food.
Day 2 is officially coming to an end. We'll see you guys early in the morning tomorrow for the start of our final day of adventure.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys. As you just saw, it is very early. It's 4:30 in the morning. We're gonna go out for a little quick early morning walk.
No, it's not quick.
We're going for a not so quick early morning walk, but we are gonna go see if we can find some more nocturnal animals.
Yeah.
They're gonna be a little bit more active. Let's go check out the jungle in the dark. Howler monkeys are pretty active right now.
If they get to a point to get into the same tree, two groups, it's gonna be a mess, and they have no energy to fight, and they may be gonna die. So it's better to start screaming, to start alerting where you are, and then from there the other groups are like, no, I'm gonna be here, you don't get close, no, you don't get close, and they start fighting with these howling sounds.
So the first place that we've come to this morning is back to Rio Serena, which is obviously the first crocodile river that we came to. Sadly today, nothing on this side. We haven't seen anything yet, but I guess Caro was saying earlier that there was a danta or a tapir that crossed the river here. Obviously all these people over here are seeing something just on the other side here where the river meets the sea. Could be a crocodile, we're not too sure, but we can't see it from this side. So we're gonna walk a little bit further down a different part of the trail because apparently we might be able to see the tapir or la danta, possibly resting again. We waited just a little bit longer and now you can see a crocodile floating down the river. And this is why we don't swim in this water. As we're going one last time into the same spot that we went on the first day to see where the danta or the tapir was resting. Yeah. It's something that's quite cool because something that Caro has been telling us throughout this adventure that I guess I never really thought about is the fact that just the same as we are creatures of habit where we like to stay in one place where we know we have food and comfort and all those types of things, animals do the same. A lot of them don't like to move around too much because they find a spot that works, that's safe, with lots of food, lots of water, and they tend to do the same thing. So one of the things that she was mentioning is what makes her job, I don't know if I would say easy, but is the fact that they recognize these patterns. If they see them once in one place, the chances are they'll be back there again.
It's like when you live with more people, you know, and like you get to know their habits. At the end, they are here many days a week. We're just all animals checking each other.
We're just all trying to live the easiest, most efficient, efficient, most comfortable life that we can, and the animals aren't any different. So okay, Kato gave us the go-ahead. She gave us some rules. Let's go see. We might be able to get quite close to this one actually, because apparently it's quite calm and resting in one spot, so we're gonna take our time and be very patient with it. That was a very short but very sweet moment with the tapir again. Hopefully we didn't scare it too much. I don't think we scared it too much, but it definitely like moved around and was observing the fact that we were there. One last look of Rio Serena, and there was another crocodile just in the distance here, but I don't think it's gonna come up onto the beach. It seems to kind of be coming up and down, in and out of the water. It is time for us to search for some food. Let's go have breakfast.
Pinto forever.
Otra vez. Oh, look, another wild boar. That's a small one. Guys, a really weird thing about these wild boars, they genuinely smell like onions. Like, you obviously...
You can taste it.
You can taste it. Literally, it smells like food, and it's making me hungry for pinto. It's a really interesting way to find these animals too, is to recognize the smells of them. So I don't know how well you guys can see that red, like flowery looking plant in the distance there. These are actually all pineapple plants. Some of them are actually producing already. Over here we have one that's a young one, I guess. We can actually take like the petals off of the flower itself and taste it, and apparently it tastes like pineapple. So Stacy's
Pineapple to go.
Yeah, Stacy's gonna give it a try here for us.
It's like when the pineapple is not very sweet yet, and it's like just like sour a little
Yeah,
bit.
what I said to say is are not really completely ripe. That is when they turn yellowish, and it had seeds inside. So it's like the wild version from the pineapple that we eat nowadays.
Okay, sadly enough, this is the final trail of our adventure. Again, I don't really know what to expect, but surely we're gonna learn a lot more about the environment here. Kato, I'm sure, has a few more tricks up her sleeve.
This is my favorite type of forest that we have. We're gonna go on a trail that we have a small patch of primary forest, and that's a real forest. That's for me what is the reality of what we expect to see.
Right, and what's the difference between a primary and a secondary forest?
Basically, only the species of trees that are related with each forest. But later we're gonna explain more. So guys, right now we're going to start walking in what for me it is the transition in between the primary and the secondary forest. Just right now here around us, if you start looking up to the tallest tree, you easily can see till the top of the canopy. One of the differences between the primary forest and the secondary forest you will see is the size of the forest. In the primary forest can range till 80 meters. We have a species that we call them emerging species, so they're higher. And here maybe 50-45 meters will be the level of the canopy of the secondary forest, and less dense. So once we start getting into the primary forest, you will see the change of radiation of sunlight that can get inside the forest.
There's two. They're mating.
Yeah. Oh, you do.
Obviously, it's very, very hard sometimes to film through the telescope, but how cool was that shot of those hummingbirds mating? Totally lucky to get that. There's a whole bunch of them flying around behind us here, and I guess they get a little bit irritated by us being here, so they're flying right above our heads. And
yeah, what Kato was telling us yesterday, that they are like a kind of aggressive, even though they look tiny, they are like an aggressive or territory bird.
We now are getting inside one of the trails that you have the chance to feel a little bit the difference or the reality of what it's supposed to be here. We have to remind that all this area was cut down till the 70s. Obviously, they cut already the species of trees that were for more interest in terms of economy, but they still leave some of them that actually in Costa Rica, one of the ones that I'm going to show you is protected by law. It's illegal to cut this type of trees, but the type of forest that we're going to see here is what I would expect to see always in a primary forest.
And just to touch on that, because I don't know how much I've mentioned before, up until 1970, basically this entire area, at least around Sirena, was used for agriculture, for mining, also for logging for the wood. I guess, I don't know if it happened right away in the 70s. They started for some reason to conserve the environment again.
Because we realized that basically the economy that we were based in the agriculture, bananas, sugarcane, coffee, I would bet for coffee, but was not as important, and now it has become the tourism because it's the way that we have to support the conservation conservation economy. So we will see.
Monkey guy.
That's hard. Well, I think there might not be a better place than underneath the shade of this incredibly beautiful tree to stop and ask Caro some questions, to let her introduce herself a little bit more. I know it's maybe a little bit late. We're getting very close to going back by boat again, so maybe now is a good time for me to ask you some questions, to let you explain who you are as a guide, as a human, and what your purpose is. So maybe the first question is, why did you get started as a guide? Why did you want to do this?
I just found that through tourism, you can use this economy as a tool, not only to make people enjoy, not only to people go and travel and have the best picture of whatever we're supposed to see. It's more the chances that you are with people that are really receptive and fully of love because they travel thinking that there's some places that maybe they wanted to know because their delicate system or because they just are curious. So that's the perfect moment where you can really have the chance to explain why countries like Costa Rica, countries like the one that we live in, we have done efforts to try to maintain these regions as pristine as we have them still now. So it's basically the only way that I found to educate people about the reality that we live, and sometimes how much as humans we live in different reality than the rest of the ecosystem. So basically my favorite classroom.
Well, as someone who really didn't like school growing up, I can tell you this is also my favorite classroom as well. And you've taught me more than I think I ever remember learning in like science class and science studies, because, you know, this is obviously, it's much more
and I think
realistic.
that this one is the place where you really understand all these things that we were talking earlier about how far is the science and how much we see information that is not related with humans. But here is the place where you basically are part of the ecosystem, being bite, being sweating, being feeling the humidity, being feeling the rainforest. Really the place where you become one, that you become organic in the ecosystem that we're supposed to live. But as humans, we have created other type of systems.
What does Obai mean? And also I noticed on the back of your shirt yesterday, I don't know on today if you have that as well, but the be aware hashtag here. So maybe you can explain Obai a little bit and what it means.
Well, Obai actually is a word that's supposed to sound like Ubai. It's come from a Nobe, that is a group of indigenous that we have from the southern region, which is basically Mu Obai. It means bees. So the idea behind Obai, it is that we try to pollinate brains through the information that they obtain inside this forest, and the main purpose is educate people through awareness experiences. So you really can understand your own concept as human related with all the species that we have been seeing, how much we interact, how much it is the right coexistence. Basically, Obai is the way that I think as Carolina. Obai is the way that I can express my feelings through people that using the tourism for entertainment. And I think that is because it's the only way that I found as humans that I can also use my privilege of being able to study, being able to grow up in this magnificent country, and the way that I have to make people to appreciate more their realities, be more aware. Be aware.
We've talked a lot about maybe like the environmental impacts that we have as humans and how the world is changing and everything like that. And how do you feel the future is right now? Like looking at the state of the world, maybe in Costa Rica in general, how do you feel the future looks for us?
I don't really can say how it looks like, but what I can tell you, it is how much we can do as individuals to make that change. It doesn't matter how it's going to happen, if it's going to be going better or maybe it's going to change. I don't really know if it's a condition of being good or bad. As I've been guiding, what I notice is that people really understand and become more empathic with other different realities once you're here. Once you understand that you're one of the weakest species, that what we have is our brain to have ideas, and how much our human privilege we can also use it to help what it's supposed to be our home, what it's supposed to be the planet where we live, not my only place, my house. It's not how much as a human being I can make a small effort. I'm not talking about to save the world right now in 1 second. It is just which ones are the efforts that each one can do from their perspective, from their realities, to maintain this one for longer term.
Absolutely. It's like you were mentioning before too about like how quickly we can also turn things around, looking at like the 1970s to now. Looking around us right now, you can see like a massive change that went from basically all of this not being here to being a functioning jungle, basically.
What I feel and what I have been discovering, at least guiding here in Corcovado, I'm a guide that I'm able to guide all over the country. country, but I found that the experience that you can create through Corcovado, or not only Corcovado, and that's what maybe I was make reference earlier about how much we have to expose the Osa Peninsula. It's not only a national park. Obviously, national park has been well promoted because it's part of the government, but all the Osa Peninsula, all this ecosystem that we have here, it's the way that people can feel a hope. If in the Costa Rica country that was in Central America at the 70s, we deforestate around 80%, and just 50 years later, we have the chance to recover in terms of forest around 40% of that devastation, there's a hope. We have to have more intentions.
With all of that being said, when you compare, maybe not compare, but when you can contrast like the experience here in Corcovado versus maybe other national parks throughout the country or in other parts of the world even, how can you say like the impact here has been a positive one? Like what's been the biggest positive thing here in Corcovado? Something to leave our viewers off on a good note.
The guides.
The guides.
The guides have a lot of love about this place, and I'm not talking only about me. What I feel is the guides in Corcovado, first of all, I'm not a local. They just adopted me 8 years ago. But people that are really from this region, they love this region. They really feel love. They wanted to spread the word about what they do. Most of them used to be other economies, including gold miners, hunters. And once they were teach about how they can show this other part, and then you teach the one that's supposed to teach, is when everything start becoming magic, because you really can teach through the guides, which are the first line that we are basically at the end, the one who have connections or relations with the tourism, that give us the chance to explain it. So as much as the guides feel this part of your own, that you own it, you want to protect it. So the guides are the one that makes the difference in Corcovado, even though there's amazing guides all over the country, but at least the one that I surrounded here are the best ones, I would say.
Unfortunately, we as humans in this world, money makes the world go round. That's an expression that is very much true, but also you can see here, and you've taught me a lot in the last few days, so I thank you for that, that both economically and environmentally, tourism can be a good thing. It can be a positive thing, and
that's the
it's very
point, that
beautiful.
you can decide as humans which type of impact you can produce, a positive impact or a negative impact. And I think that education is the key. That's why Obai wants to make education through awareness experiences, which at the end also includes all type of wildlife seeing. We have adventures, we have caves, we have all type of things to do, plus the fact that it's also with the intention to make humans more aware.
So where can people contact you? How can they find you? How can they do this adventure or other adventures with you, whether it's here in Corcovado and other parts of the country? How can they contact you?
Basically, you can look us through Obai Experience. We're trying to create the most content for the social medias, because for being honest, I was really skeptic to do social medias, but also through my WhatsApp. Later, I'm gonna write it down in the video of Kyle, so you can contact us, or through email. All the three, we're gonna be more than glad to create you the experience that is gonna fit on your necessities and your interests, for sure. Thank you very much.
So once again, thank you so much for everything. Muchas gracias por todo. This experience has been probably, in my life personally, one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in terms of tourism. I really, really appreciate everything that you've taught us. I hope that I can remember it all. It's a lot of information. We haven't shown you guys everything, but I will try my best to not just retain the information, but to use the information that you've taught me and to make an impact.
That's something that I do with a lot of love, and this is something that I, plus the fact that I teach, I just also enjoy. My job is basically to share the vacations of other people, and thank you for inviting me.
Yeah, no, thank you for inviting us.
For sure, anytime that you want it.
And muchas gracias to Stacy as well, because also without Stacy, this tour wouldn't have been possible for me. Caro, or Carolina, however you prefer to call her, is one of Stacy's best friends. And without you, this wouldn't be possible for me either. So
since we were planning to come here, I was like, you're gonna love it, and because Caro is so smart, and like she's so like funny too.
Yeah, truly.
And he's a person that I really like love and admire. For everyone that get to like come here and like have a tour with her is very special.
It's very,
like,
very special.
You learn a lot in a different way.
Not even just as friends of her, but like fully recommend her and any kind of tour that she can offer you or anything that you're looking for. I'll link everything down below in the description.
I don't want to leave.
No, me either. I'm not ready.
Look at this spider running away. He's trying to hide from them in the leaves, and they're trying to capture her. He's trying to float
Those ants are called army ants. The name is basically exactly their mentality. They come in, they attack as like a big army, and basically what they were doing there is they were hunting, I guess, whatever insect they can find, really. And what was interesting is Stacy was telling me that even at her family's home, that whenever the army ants would invade the home, they would have to leave for like days. They couldn't stay in their home because they're quite aggressive, and if you get bit by one of them, I imagine it's very, very painful. Going back to what we've talked about in the past with the leafcutter ants, the power of ants. Ants are one of the most powerful, if not the most powerful animal in the entire animal kingdom. So as with the nature of things, when it comes to nature, of course, the place that Carolina wanted to take us to is not possible to access today. So unfortunately, we couldn't do that. But at this point, I don't think there is any unfortunately or unfortunate thing from this adventure. I mean, I'm going home with a bigger heart than I came here with and a bigger brain, hopefully. Even though we couldn't see the place that she was excited to show us, I feel fully satisfied. I said it before, I could have left basically the moment we arrived on the beach here, right then and there, and been totally satisfied with this as a tour. But we are headed back to the station now. This is the end of the road. Let's head back home, get changed, get more back into our human comforts. Just as we're about to leave, we're treated with one last gift, as we've been told that there is a sloth with her baby in a tree here. So
I'm so happy we came here.
Corcovado has given us many gifts.
Ay, qué lindo. ¿Cuál es el bebé? No lo reconoce.
No, se le ven los bracitos, ella está abrazando a la mamá.
Ah, it's holding the mama.
Wow, look at that. That's so beautiful.
Wow.
Leaving just like we entered kind of feels a little bit like Survivor, you know? Come in on the boats, survive a couple days on the beach. Luckily, we had a good guide.
You haven't survived anything, mi amor.
I survived everything, okay? I survived a terciopelo.
Yeah, that's true.
Bueno amigos, we have made it back to Puerto Jimenez, and we're even considering moving here someday in the future. we love Uvita, but this place is pretty chill, so we're thinking about coming here in the future. We'll see what happens. But anyways, we hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as we enjoyed filming this video. This one was a very special one for us.
I don't have words.
I don't have words either.
To explain everything, and it's just amazing.
As I mentioned before, everything will be linked down below in the description. Muchas gracias, Caro, for everything. You were an amazing guide, an amazing friend. Definitely, we will be back one day to Corcovado as well. Like I said, we hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like and subscribe. We'll link our Instagrams down below in the description, and we will see you guys in the next video.
Ciao.
Pura vida.